You are on a crowded train, you are looking at your phone, you are not thinking about anything in particular, and then, out of nowhere, you feel it. That prickle on the back of your neck. Someone is watching you. You look up, you turn your head, and there they are, eyes already sliding away, pretending they were looking at something else. You were right. Someone was watching you. But the real answer is far stranger than that, because you did not sense their eyes. You could not have. Eyes do not send out beams. There is nothing physical leaving another person's face and landing on your skin. Whatever touched the back of your neck came from inside your own head. Your brain built that feeling, and it built it for a reason older than language, older than cities, older than you can imagine. Let me show you what is actually happening. Right now, without moving your eyes, notice how much you can see. Not what you are looking at, everything else, the edges, the blur at the sides. Your eyes point at a tiny spot, but your visual field is enormous. It stretches almost 200 degrees, and that wide, blurry outer ring is not there for detail. It is there for one job: movement. Threat. Something changing when it should be still. Your peripheral vision is terrible at reading. It is terrible at faces, but it is astonishingly good at one thing. It notices when a shape turns toward you. So the person behind you shifts in their seat. Their head rotates a few degrees. You do not consciously see it. Your sharp central vision is still locked on your phone. But that low-resolution outer edge catches the motion, and it sends a single silent alarm up into the older parts of your brain. Something oriented toward you. And your brain, without asking permission, turns that raw signal into a feeling with a story attached. You are being watched. You turn around to check, and because you turned, the other person notices you. Their eyes flick to you at the exact moment yours land on them, and it feels like proof. It feels like you caught them. But think about what really happened. You moved first. Your motion pulled their gaze. The watching started when you turned, not before. This is the trick. And to understand why your brain plays it, you have to understand how obsessed the human brain is with eyes. There is a psychologist named Teresa Ferroni who ran a beautifully simple study published in 2002. She showed faces to newborn babies. Some faces looked straight ahead. Some looked slightly away. These babies were 2 to 5 days old. They had been alive for less than a week, and they looked longer, far longer, at the faces making direct eye contact. Nobody taught them that. There was no time to learn it. They came into the world already caring, more than anything else, about whether another pair of eyes was pointed at them. That is not a small thing. Think about everything a newborn does not know. It does not know its own hands. It cannot hold up its head. But it arrives knowing this one question, burned in before birth. Is something looking at me? Why would evolution front-load that? Why would gaze be the very first thing a human tracks? Because for almost all of human history, being looked at was the most important information in the world. A pair of eyes on you meant something. It meant a predator had chosen you out of the herd. It meant a rival was sizing you up. It meant a stranger at the edge of the firelight had decided you were prey, or a threat, or a target. In that world, the person who felt the stare a half-second early and turned to face it lived. The person who missed it did not pass on their genes. So the feeling got sharper and sharper, generation after generation, until it became the thing you feel on the train today, with no lion anywhere in sight. Your brain even has a piece of hardware devoted to this. Tucked along the side of your brain, there is a fold called the superior temporal sulcus. In the 1990s, a neuroscientist named David Parrott was recording from single cells in this region, and he found something extraordinary. There were individual neurons that fired specifically for gaze direction. One cell would respond when eyes looked left, another when eyes looked right, and certain cells fired hardest of all for one particular direction, eyes looking straight at you. Sit with that. You have neurons, actual specific cells, whose entire job is to scream when another creature is looking directly into your face. You are not a person who happens to notice eyes. You are a machine built at the level of single cells to detect them. And here's where it gets stranger, because a system this important cannot afford to wait for certainty. There is a vision scientist named Colin Clifford who studied what your brain does when the information is unclear, when the light is dim, or the other person is far away, or their eyes are shadowed, and you genuinely cannot tell where they are looking. What is your brain's default guess? It guesses they are looking at you. Clifford and his colleagues found that when people are uncertain about someone's gaze, they do not assume the eyes are pointed away. They assume the eyes are pointed straight at them. Your brain is biased, deliberately, structurally biased toward the conclusion that you are being watched. And when you think about the cost of each mistake, that bias is genius. Imagine you assume nobody is watching, and you are wrong. Someone really was staring, a real threat, and you ignored it. That mistake could kill you. Now imagine you assume you are being watched, and you are wrong. Nobody was there. What did that cost you? A turned head, a flash of unease, 2 seconds and a little embarrassment. Your brain ran that math 1,000,000 years ago and picked a side. It would rather cry wolf 1,000 times than miss the one real wolf. So it errs toward the stare, every single time. Which means the feeling of being watched is not a glitch. It is not you being paranoid. It is a smoke detector. And a smoke detector that never goes off when there is no fire is a broken smoke detector. The false alarms are the price of it working at all. But the eyes are only half of the story. The other half lives deep in the center of your brain, in an almond-shaped cluster called the amygdala. The neuroscientist Ralph Adolphs studied a woman known in the research as patient SM. Because of a rare condition, both sides of her amygdala were destroyed, and she lost something specific. She could still see faces. She could recognize her friends. But she could not read fear in a face, and she could not feel the normal alarm that keeps the rest of us at a safe distance from strangers. She had no sense of threat from another person's gaze. The eyes still worked. The alarm was gone. That tells you the feeling of being watched is not just seeing. It is seeing, plus a jolt of emotion bolted on underneath. The amygdala is what turns a pair of eyes into a shiver. It is why being stared at does not feel neutral. It feels like something. That prickle, that heat rising in your face, that urge to turn. That is your amygdala, doing the job it has done since before your species had a name. And now, understanding all of this, look at your actual life. Because you have not escaped this system. You have wrapped your whole world in it. Every time your phone lights up, some part of you feels seen. Every notification is a set of eyes turning toward you. When you post something and watch the numbers climb, that is the same ancient circuit, the one that tracked the stranger at the edge of the fire, now lit up by strangers you will never meet. When you walk into a room and feel everyone clock you at once and your face goes hot, that is patient SM's missing alarm working perfectly in you. You built a civilization. You invented the train, the phone, the glowing screen, and you carried the old wiring straight into all of it. You are still, at this very second, scanning for eyes. So here is what I want you to do the next time it happens. The next time you are somewhere ordinary and you feel that prickle climb the back of your neck and something whispers that you are being watched, do not just turn around. Notice, first, that you moved. Notice that the feeling came before any proof. Notice that your peripheral vision caught something you never consciously saw, that a fold of tissue in your brain fired for a direction, that an almond of ancient tissue lit the fuse, and that all of it happened to keep some ancestor of yours alive on a dark night 100,000 years ago. Then turn around if you want to, because you were never really feeling their eyes. There are no beams. There is nothing crossing the space between you. You were feeling something far older and far more loyal than that. You were feeling the one part of you that has been keeping watch, without rest, since long before you were born. and it has no plans to stop. You are on a crowded train. You are looking at your phone, and something, somewhere behind you, is about to make you turn around. Now you know who it really is.